Hello, my name is Gwen, and welcome to your practice. We'll enjoy 60 minutes of moving meditation. So we'll start with building our heart beds today. I'm going to use the blankets today, but feel free if you have a bolster, a small one or a large one, or if you want to use a pool noodle. And you can drape a blanket on top of the pool noodle to make it a little bit cushier. So if you have a blanket or two, go ahead and grab them. Fold them about like this size. Roll tightly. And then you'll place at the top of your mat so that it supports your whole spinal column. I'm going to go ahead and take the other blanket. Give a little bit of a roll at the top called a waterfall. This is where your back of your skull, the back of your head will rest. And then I'll drape this right on the top. If you have a yoga block, the benefit of yoga blocks is they're very light. So if you're using a book, an encyclopedia, have it a little closer so that you can give it a little slide one way or the other and you really don't have to lift it too often. I'll go ahead and bring this right underneath the top so that I elevate my head. I bring it further away from the floor. So this is our heart bed. Then bring your back to rest. You can take your hands right at the edge of what you're coming down into. So feel that security, that support. And then notice as the spine comes down, and take your time if you're living in a lot of pain. There's no hurry to unwind. So we take care of ourselves exactly where we are. And if ever during this practice you're feeling like it's too much, go ahead and lay and prop yourself somewhere where you're comfortable, either legs up the wall or come right back to nice and supported on your heart bed just like this. Visualize the practice in your mind's eye with your eyes closed as I guide you through this practice the best I can. Perfect exactly where you are. Give the head a little rock from side to side. Once your eyes can close, please do. And then as we feel into our body today, the theme of our practice is to unravel from stress, all that tension. If you're feeling that in your body, in your mind, notice what that feels like as we return to that sacred center, that internal space. It'll be a beautiful journey inward today. So go ahead and feel into your body. Notice where the feet are planted. If your lower back has been a little bit sore on one side or the other, or any dull ache, have the knees bent for a moment while the sit bones anchor. And just notice as the head starts to rock from side to side how it feels. And you might want to explore lengthening through one leg, feel into the lower back, and then the other. Give the toes a little wriggle. If the lower back starts to sing and it's a little bit too much discomfort for you, bend the knees. If you have an extra blanket, fold it. Bring it underneath the sit bones to bring you out of the back bend just a little more. And then heel toe your feet as wide as you comfortably can, toes inward, and have the inner knees knock. So wherever you are, feel into where your body would like to rest here. Close those beautiful eyes and dive in just a bit deeper now as you Pull in that next breath in through the nose, nice and full and deep, and out through the nose. Notice how you feel. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose or the mouth. Allow a little time for the body to breathe. And as we breathe here together, feel into the coolness coming in. And as you exhale, that sweet surrender, I surrender. Inhaling, nice and full and deep. Feel that gap between breath now. As you exhale, all the breath out, a little gap between the inhale. Notice how that feels today. You have the luxury of time. Plenty of time for the body to unwind. So we're going to dive into the breath just a little deeper through the chakras, through our energy centers. The chakras are where much of our cellular memory is stored. Up and down the Sushumna channel, this beautiful river of life, meaning most gracious, right up the front of the spine. So how about 2 cleansing breaths before we dive just a little deeper into those centers? Take that next inhale all the way in and up. A light little pause filled with breath here, and and then again, one more cleansing breath in, all the way in and up through the nose, pause, and then inhale all the way in through the nose and out through the nose. We'll call in our good friend, the Ujjayi breath, which cultivates that victorious feeling from the inside out. This prana, this vital life energy, as we inhale nice and full and deep, and exhale fully. We'll come into our energy centers. Let's start right at the brow, right where you think the middle of the brain might live. And just feel this area. Our intuition. And what colors are coming up for you? What do you feel in this area? Feel into the subtleties as the breath gently cools this area, lights it right up. And as you exhale, you surrender. I invite you to bring in a bouquet of flowers, some pinks, some purples, some blues. Feel into that spaciousness. As we light it up with full color. And then drop your awareness down into the throat. Feel that wave of breath that comes in. What does that wave of breath like for you? Is it cool? Does it feel like a breeze? Can you hear the sound of that? An ocean sound. And when you think of the ocean, what color comes up in this area? Notice what that color's like. Maybe it's a wave that comes crashing down with that beautiful bluey white effervescence. Notice what that's like. Let it bubble up. And then go ahead and drop your awareness a little lower into the heart center. And as you lay on the heart bed with the shoulders draped, each inhale, this heart center rises. Each exhale, the shoulders drape just a wee bit more. And what is that color for you? As you journey through the forest, all these greens, these beautiful shades of green, the dark moss, as the sun gently hits, all of these different beautiful green hues start to bloom and blossom out. Feel into the heart center and what that color might look like to you. And then drop your awareness down into the belly, that navel center. As you inhale, feel and sense the solar area as the solar plexus gently moves like a beautiful piece of silk. As you inhale, that piece of silk gently floats down, and as you exhale, gently floats upward. What is this solar area to you? What color? Is it solar like the sun? Feel that rise and fall, a little movement. And then drop your awareness down into the base. Notice what this area feels like. Each exhale, the pelvic floor naturally comes upward. Each inhale, a gentle release. You can come into it a little bit more if you'd like. Feel like you have to go to the bathroom, a very light lift, very soft, very subtle lift of the pelvic floor. Notice the play in that area. And you can bring your awareness all the way up to the crown. Notice this area at the crown. And what color is that for you? This quiet, this solitude. Right above the crown, 6 inches above, an area like an angelic force, a sphere of energy that we can connect into. Just like connecting a light into a socket. Notice what that feels like for you, just 6 inches above the crown. As you breathe in to this connection. And then as you inhale, your next natural inhale, drop your awareness down into where you think your earth star might live. How deep is it into the earth? Feel those roots, that stability down there. Anchored, protected, safe. Now, nice and easy, on your next inhale, let the belly rise, nice and full and deep. And as you exhale, send it down into that earth star. And as you inhale, fill that belly and exhale it all the way up through the heart, the throat, the middle of the brain, the crown. Feel that connection. Inhale, fill that belly, and exhale down through that base. Notice the colors, these earthy colors. As you inhale, fill that belly. Exhale, send it all the way up, bubbling up into the other, as we connect. Inhaling, that belly will rise. Exhale, all the colors of the rainbow bubbling downward into the earth's core. You inhale and feel all those reds and orange and yellows. And as you exhale, coming in, bubbling that green into the blue, into all the beautiful colors of the bouquet. Feel that colorful you as you inhale, sending it downward. Feel that rootedness. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale all the way upward to that connection. Feel connected now. One more breath just like that. Notice that river of life now, fully moving, this movement. And what does that feel like in your body? Does it feel like alignment? And what does alignment feel like to you? Maybe it feels like you can connect to that inner grin. The subtleness of that internal smile. Our inner Mona Lisa smile. Our strength. Like we're holding this fantastic secret. And how about one more breath just like that? And then go ahead and flutter open the eyes. For a moment, just slowly bend up one knee at a time and then the other. Feel both feet rooted on the floor. Let the toes dance for a brief moment. And then go ahead and roll over to your side. Use your lower arm as your pillow. Front hand right in front of you like a kickstand. Notice how that feels. And then go ahead and use that front hand, that's your top arm, right behind you. Let's do a little light housekeeping and take the props right off of the mat and clear the runway just a wee bit here. Come into your fierce grace. This is where we need our breath, our sense of humor as we roll around on our mats. So if you're living in a lot of pain today, feel where you're at and take care of yourself where you are. So if the knees need to remain bent, please do. If you're moving a little slower, please do. Cut yourself a little slack and have some fun. Let's come into a soma scan now. Lengthen through one leg and then the other. Know that you can scan the body with the knees bent if that's better for you. Come where it's better. Give the toes a little wriggle wherever you are. Feel into the heels where they're placed on the mat. Notice the lightness through the Achilles and that weight coming through the calf. This lightness through the knee and this fullness through the thigh. Notice the evenness of the sit bones coming down. And what is it like right underneath that lower lumbar sacral spine? How far is it off the mat? Feel into that beautiful weight coming down through the thoracic spine, fanning broad and wide to the shoulders. After a long held back bend, what does that feel like? Go ahead and give the back of the skull a little rock from one side to the other. Notice any subtle sensation in the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. Pain is not an option. So any burning, electrical feelings, any zingers, you simply stay away from. Move a little slower, a little less, a micro movement. Maybe you visualize it. So know that you can visualize this entire practice and receive. So cut yourself some slack and have some fun today. Take that internal snapshot now to where your starting point is. Take a deep breath and a ha. Then go ahead and bend up at the knees. We're going to come into body yawn. So this is a beautiful flow that will help to unwind the lower lumbar sacral spine. It'll give a light twist to the whole body so that the lower half can start that conversation throughout the top half as we rewrite the script from the brain to the muscle now. So give a little press through that left leg. Feel the right leg come upward. Help it with the hands to cross over, and like you're seated on a chair, let the back of that thigh hang out on the front of the other. Notice the back of the pelvis, and then thread your left hand down that left side And you can even scooch the arm so that part of the body is wedged right over it. So it's acting as our wedge support, a braking system. And then allow the body to play. The legs can come over to that hand. Notice how it puts on the brakes. And then maybe you move it outward a wee bit and notice the range of motion grows a little bit each time. Practice where you'd like to explore, where it feels good in the body. We're here to build trust between the body, all of those sensations, the mind, ultimately the spirit. And then pause that lower half and then go ahead and bring the upper arm in a cactus shape, or maybe it's outward. So wherever that is, it can be any, you can pick various spots for this arm. So this is your exploration. And then play. Feel how that upper arm can lengthen and then drag back slowly. And then let the head come to the party. So if the nose is pointed up, as that arm reaches out, let the head roll in that general direction. A few just like that. As the arm reaches outward, in whatever angle you've chosen, the head rolls in that general direction. And maybe one more. And then we'll bring it all together now. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale that breath out, let the legs gently fall over and the arm reach up. The head will roll in that general direction like a yawn. And then go ahead and come all the way back to your starting point. You might take a breath or two there as you observe. And then gently as you exhale, the legs fall over, the arm reaches out. You might want to pause there for a breath or two. This is your body's journey through your sensation. So as we move here, choose. Maybe it feels delicious to pause. Or you move subtly, softly, in a slow, fluid-like motion. Either with brief pauses along the way as you breathe, into whatever your body is experiencing in this moment. Every moment, a different body. So have some fun here. Once you have the gist of these movements, the eyes close. So we don't have to look like anyone else in the room. So careful not to think that you have to look like the video. You feel something, you're doing it right. And how about one more on this side? And when you're ready, go ahead and take the hands and the arms and gather up that top leg. The right thigh comes into the belly. Bring the back of the shoulders down into the mat. And then let that foot come down. Heel toe your feet wide, hands on the lower belly. Thumb touches first finger. Bring that diamond shape over the navel and let the hands rest on that lower belly. Feel through the palms, through the digestive organs that fully receive, all the way down to where that lower sacrum, the lower lumbar sacral spine, is on the mat, resting from hip to hip. Feel the weight of the pelvis. Notice this whole lower half through the legs, the feet, and then the upper half all the way through to the shoulders, to the center of the brain. Notice the colors as we twisted them all up now. And then one more breath just like that. And then go ahead and bring the feet back. Press into that right foot and let the other side, the left side, come up. Take it with your hands a little closer to the belly and cross it over. Feel the back of that thigh rest on the front. Feel the back of the hips, the pelvis, and how they're resting on the floor. And then thread the right hand down, other arm up. We'll come straight into it. So feel for a moment the legs coming over to that wedge support. Do you need to bring it in just a little more? To put on the brakes, a little more, a little more. Have some fun. And then take a deep inhale. Exhale the legs over. Reach the arm outward at whatever angle suits your body on this side. Take a brief rest for a breath or two, or simply come all the way back to the start. Notice how the body wants to move here. Inhaling and exhaling. Allow this to be filled with pleasure. That yawning-like gesture. It just feels good. And one more breath here. Feel the legs gently come over, the arm reach out, and the head roll in that general direction. And then come all the way back. Take the arms, gather up that top leg, and feel how it comes into the left side of the belly. Back of the shoulders down, and then allow the foot to come into the mat. Heel toe the feet nice and wide, and feel into the lower spine. The hands placed on that lower belly. Notice a sensation, the swirling around of sensation. Some of you, it might feel like there's some color under there, as the movement is waking up. So often pain will come in like a block, like a brick. So thawing out and feeling now any tension, any stress start to melt and dissolve. Feel all the way up the spinal column, through the heart center, the throat, the middle of the brain, all the way to the crown. Connect. And as you breathe, feel it bubbling down through our energy centers, downwards into the earth as we connect. And one more breath just like that. And then go ahead and walk the feet a little closer towards the sit bones. Wherever your block is, go ahead and place it on your belly. If you don't have a block, you can use your blankets for underneath the pelvis. So bring the arms right by your side, palms down. Feel where the feet are placed, hip distance apart. Give a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, send the tips of the shoulders down. Feel the length of the arms press. Hold that press, and then press into the heels, big toe, baby toe. Hover the pelvis and feel the weight of the pelvis come up. Take the block off the belly and place it right behind the back of the pelvis. So it will live right at the base of the spine, right on the sacral area of the sacrum. You can feel the iliac crest, your two little mountains, these protrusions that come out of the lower belly, and you can let the thumbs rest on top and draw a line with the index finger down to your support. It'll be right underneath there. Go ahead and take the back of the skull, a light little rock from one side to the other. And notice how it starts to walk upward, lengthening the cervical spine. This is where the throat lives. Feel this area as you breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then with the nose pointing upward, the chin downward into the heart center as we connect the heart with the throat here. Then scooch the elbows a little closer inward towards the ribs, palms in the direction of the thighs. Press into the left foot and let the right thigh come into the palm, and then the other side. Inner big toes tap, let them touch. The heels don't have to. Shins parallel with the ceiling here. Inner knee connection. They never have to touch. Go ahead and rock from one hand to the other. Feel the hands on the outer thighs. One slides upward while the other downward. Notice the back of the pelvis as we roll, either on a blanket or a brick, or maybe it's a book for you today. And then go ahead and come into center. Take the hands nice and wide through the fingers. Place the palms right onto the knees and wrap. Carry the thighs, so bend those elbows, the thighs to the belly, and then back outward. Bend thighs to the belly and then out. And one more. And now flex the feet. Let the heels come up. And as you bend the knees, feel the base of the big toe and send one down towards the mat. Never has to get there. Marry this with the breath now. Inhale up, flex those feet, heels up, toes to the nose. Exhale, bend. Right below that big toe mound, a little tap. This is called a floint. It's somewhere in between a point and a flex. One side, a little tap, and then the other. Inhale up. Exhale down. A little tap. And now maybe both. So you might be alternating between sides. It might be a micro movement for you. Or maybe you're visualizing this part. Perfect. Wherever you are, one more. Both feet will come down into the mat, arms, palms down. Take a deep breath there. As you exhale, feel the shoulders come down and press through the length of those arms. Fingertips, heel to toe. Press into that foundation. And then hover the pelvis just a hair off of the prop. Take it out, off to the side, and feel the pelvis now. Take a deep inhale wherever you are. Exhale the top of the spine to the middle, to the base. And then surrender the whole spinal column down. One leg and then the other. The arms, knuckles heavy, palms upward. Take a deep breath and feel into that spaciousness on the inside. Notice how you feel from the base of your spine. Feel that color. You might feel a warmth, a tingling, as the base of the spine wakes up, bubbling up into that solar, up into the heart, up into the throat, into the middle of the brain, all the way to the crown as we connect. Feel that internal environment and what you've created through this flow. Maybe it feels like you're floating downstream, beautifully connected, safe. And one more breath just like that. Nice. From here, go ahead and bend up at the knees. We'll roll over to our belly. So take your time rolling over to your belly. And if rolling onto your belly is you're feeling that it's not as safe for you to come into that, then you can bring the pelvis up by folding a blanket underneath. So explore. If you need 2 blankets, please do. Or come straight down to the floor. Stack one hand right on top of the other. And then the forehead right on top of that stack. Give a little roll to the hips from one side to the other. Notice the floating quality of the hips. And then pause. We're going to come into turtle. So leave your left hand where it is and bring your right cheek over to that hand so that your view is the left elbow. Thread the right hand right down by your side so that the knuckles are heavy. That right thumb
might be tickling that right thigh. So have some fun with this one. You can have the knuckles maybe by the chin, maybe by the temple, wherever it is. And then nice and easy here. Notice how you feel. This one is like an X. So feel that crossover from the left elbow to the right heel. As importantly, feel that right arm nice and long, give it a press into the mat, and that left leg. There's your foundation. Give both a press into the mat, and then relax. The head can press down into the hand, right arm presses from shoulder to fingers. Feel the left leg press, and then relax that effort. There's your foundation. Let's use that foundation to our advantage now. Go ahead and press into the right arm, the head into the fingers, and then that left leg. Float the elbow up and then down. You can relax the whole body now. And choose where you'd like to point that left elbow. Eyes are closed. It might point upward at a new angle and a little closer to the floor, and then lower. Or it might gently move down and how about one more for good luck? Lift and then lower. We're going to add on now. So let's take our time. This is where our foundation will come in. And so here we go. Lift the left elbow. Feel how the hand can lift the weight of the head. Notice your foundation. Go ahead and send the elbow down first, head and hands second. A continual motion maybe, elbow, head, elbow comes down first, head and hand second. You might want to rest there, or how about one more, elbow. Feel how this is in your body. Can you feel all the muscles coming to the party in the back body, the shoulders? And then how well do they turn off now? And let's have one more add-on here. So press into that right arm, long and strong, down that right side. Press into that left leg, down into the mat. Now in one piece, lift the head and the hands and that right leg. Leave that front of the pelvis in the mat and then lower. Notice the X on the back. From the elbow to the heel, nice and long and strong, and then your foundation. And then how about one more? Press into that foundation. Feel the rootedness in the earth quality of what's coming down into the mat and what is coming upward. And then go ahead and stack the hands, forehead on top. From here, let the feet come up off of the mat and a little spin around the ankle with the toes. Circle the toes. Let this circling move the lower leg. And then the other direction. A little sway from one side to the other. Feel into the front of the thigh, the width, the weight coming downward. And let's come on over to the other side now. Leave the right hand where it is and thread the left one down. Your view, the right elbow. Notice your foundation. Press into that long and strong left arm down into the mat. The right leg presses. And then relax. And then again, feel that foundation, the crossing over. The head presses as the elbow gently comes up off of the mat. And then you lower. We are asking a lot of the body in this one. So much detail. So notice all this detail as you press down into your foundation. Elbow points at a new angle possibly. Head stays nice and heavy like a weight on those fingers. Notice how that elbow comes upward. And what does that feel like in that shoulder, upper back area? Pause for a breath or two, take your time. Or go ahead and come into the wave-like gesture. Press into your foundation. Left arm, right leg presses. Elbow comes up. Head, feel the weight. Elbow comes down first, and then head and hand. Like a wave, up, and then down. Elbow comes up first, head and hand second. Elbow down first, head and hand. And how about one more? Maybe a deep inhale and a hard exhale. And when you're ready, feel that foundation pressing down, that right leg and that left arm. And then float head and hand, and that left leg comes up, right off of the mat. Right leg presses, left leg floats up. Feel the crossover, the highlighted area, and then relax. 2 or 3 more if you'd like. Press down through the right leg, left arm, up. Notice the highlighted area from that right elbow to the left heel. And then come on down. And then how about one more for good luck? Notice the pelvis gently coming down, that lower back working very hard here. And then we come down, down. Go ahead and roll onto your backs. Feel what it's like to come into your body scan now. You can lengthen through the legs or allow the legs to remain bent. So whatever feels really good for you. Close the eyes and witness from the inside out. Feel and sense now from the soles of the feet and just about 6 inches below the soles of the feet. Feel that connection to the earth in that one. And then all the way up into the base of the spine. All the way up into the navel area. The heart. The throat. The center of the brain. The crown. As we connect to all. And then go ahead and bend up at the knees and float over to your side. You can have a brief rest there or gently come on up into a comfortable seated position. Go ahead and take your wide angle seat. So this one is a wide angle. It's a lateral bend. So I'm going to start over on the left side by bending my knee, taking my rolled blanket underneath that knee. So this, on both sides, this is our prop that we can really enjoy, a little lateral bend. So you can bring your elbow onto that or your hand, forearm, and then like an anchor, press into where the leg meets the torso, just a wee bit. Send that sit bone downward. It never has to get there. And then close the eyes here. If the elbow is down, you can place the head into the hand, or you can make a fist and let the head rest on top of that fist. If you'd like, for just a handful of breaths, the arm can float up and then go ahead and float it downward. The eyes are closed, so paint your picture here. If the fingers were a paintbrush, all the colors of the rainbow, all the chakra colors. Here we are painting it all around us. And what does that feel like for you? As you gently float that arm upward and then downward. And one more breath just like that. And as the arm comes down, let yourself come up, make fists. You might want to take that prop out just for a brief moment. Send the fists down like anchors right outside from the hips so that you share the workload as you sit up. A brief body scan. Let the toes wriggle. Feel the sit bones, the lower back, the outer edge of that left side. One more breath. And we'll come over to the other side. So here we go. You can come to the outer knee or the inner knee. It can be the forearm, the hand, maybe the elbow. The head can rest in the hand, maybe for some of you. You press down through the hip crease. Send that sit bone down, down, down. A few breaths just like that. And then gently up and down with the arm. Paint that rainbow. Notice how it feels. And one more breath. A brief hello to our outer edge of our body, the pelvis, a little squeeze. Make your fists, send them on the outer edge, eyes closed. Witness the sit bones, the pelvis, the edges of the body. Dive into the center of the brain. And then go ahead and come on down to your Shavasana. Nice and flat on your backs. You can use the blanket as a blanket right on top of you. If you're quite warm, it can be on the thighs, the lower belly. You can use your other blanket over the eyes. Or maybe you thread this right behind the back of the knees. It might feel delicious, the back of the thighs. Wherever you are, eyes are closed. Feel into your body as you come into final resting pose now. Notice how that is in your body. Let go of all control. Encourage the body to release the control of the breath, the muscles. Feel that encouragement, that inner cheerleader. It might feel like that internal smile as we connect all of our energy centers, all of us, all of our internal wisdom starts to soar. That connection to all. And what does that feel like for you? Does it feel like excitement? Does it feel like relaxation? Ease? Contentment? Eagerness? What is it for you? This fulfillment? As we gently made that journey, unravel stress and tension as we return to that sacred center here. Let yourself rest here now. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.